T. Gray and MK, you are now cleared for flight school takeoff.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right. All right. It's that time. Pen and paper, folks. Get your journals.
Yeah.
It's time to rock and roll. Hopefully your team is on so they don't miss this part. But this is an exciting thing here because this is something that we grew up on.
Yes, it is. Absolutely 100%.
Yep.
Yep.
We grew up in the living rooms and the dens. That's, if you guys, any of you guys who know our story, Mark met Mr. Holton Buggs and Mr. Edwin Haynes back in 2002. And I met Mr. Holton Buggs and Mr. Edwin Haynes in 2004. And they taught us the business of this business. And one of the things they made us very, very good at is growing the business in living rooms and dens, doing parties like what we're going to teach you how to do today.
All right.
You got something there?
Carly, real quick, Carly. BÜM 300 for Joe Harris. We'll go ahead and we'll get that up here next week. All right.
Way to go, Joe.
Good stuff.
All right.
Thanks for sending that in.
Cool.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, let's get down to business.
4 steps for party success.
All right. So now, folks, what is a good party? What is a BÜM party, right?
Mhm.
So good. Let's talk about what good means.
Get out of debt.
Get out of debt. Get out of debt, right? And the reason we say that is because most people around the world, just statistically there, 95% of people are carrying debt, right? And so what's great about Ibüümerang is that it represents an opportunity to make additional income. And rather than go and blow it on buying extra things or creating new expenses, what we're teaching folks at Ibüümerang is to use that money to get out of debt. And we've had people pay off credit card bills, pay off medical bills. We've even had somebody pay off 3 vehicles.
Jackie Pippins,
right? So what we're showing you is how to do that. And the best place to do that starts out in the living rooms and the dens. That's why we call them good parties, get out of debt parties. Now, we also call them BÜM parties because GOOD doesn't really work in Spanish,
right?
Right. So the team in Latin America and Mexico, they call good parties BÜM parties, right? So whether you call it a good party or BÜM party is up to you. But the key thing is this is a staple.
It is
of being successful.
It's the backbone.
It's the backbone. This is where it goes down.
It's a part of our 5-step training too. So and you know what? You guys can actually follow along in your flight plan calendar, right? So there's right after the 10 and 2 or the 2020 plan, you've got BÜM and good parties or good and BÜM parties right there. Yeah. So go ahead, follow along. We'll be going through this. And for those of you that don't have this yet, go ahead and get this. Go ahead and go to the BÜM Gear store at boomgear.com and go ahead and get yourself a couple 2, 3, 4, 5 flight plan calendars. Okay. Why 5?
Because you want to make sure that you have flight plan calendars for the people that are about to join your business with no time lapse, right? You don't want to have people join your business and they got to go on BÜM Gear and they got to order and they got to wait a few days for it to come. And they're already starting to melt themselves out of the business. No, you want to make sure the new person signs up, they walk away from you with their flight plan calendar in hand, and they can start reading it, studying it, and getting their mind ready for what they got to do to win.
You'll want to have a stack of these at your BÜM and good parties.
Stack. Hashtag stacking on the value, right? All right. Anyway, thank you, Renee, for that.
I don't know if that worked.
It didn't really work for that.
No.
But no, I guess you are stacking on the value if you have.
Okay. Yeah. All right. It works.
I might be reaching a little bit. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. But in any event, so now how do you have a successful good party or successful BÜM party? 4 things. You have to understand the purpose of them. You got to make sure you set them up properly. You got to understand how to execute your party and how to close out and follow up. And we're going to go through that in our slides. Gotcha. Now, I was about to say this blank slide.
So here we go, man. Purpose. So you're going to be able to get personal momentum. And you know what? The thing that you're going to want to do with anybody who joins, so as soon as you get somebody started, what you're going to want to do is sit down with them and say, hey, let's go ahead and get your party set up. And you're going to want to pull out this part of your flight plan calendar and say, hey, we need to book you 4 parties, 4 BÜM and good parties. And what's that going to do? That's going to a couple of different things. One, it's going to give them personal momentum. And you have to do this in the first 48 hours, or at the very least in the first week, to be sure that you've got them in personal momentum. The second is you're leading by example, and you want that person then to lead by example as well. So what you're doing here is you're setting up duplication.
That's
it's
right.
Duplication. And what you want to do is make sure that you are duplicating this through your organization. And you can't skip any steps. There's no shortcuts to winning here. And BÜM and good parties are a core part of what it is that we're doing. And again, we're going to go through this today and show you exactly how to get this done and get it set up. Because, you know, a lot of people have looked at this and probably read this, but they just read it.
Yeah.
And really didn't put it into action. So
You don't get any volume for reading it.
Yeah. Really? No volume for reading?
You don't get any volume for just reading it.
Okay.
You got to do it.
I always heard there's no BV and TV, but
Yeah.
reading. Okay. All right.
And so let's just talk about this momentum thing for a second, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, a lot of times what happens is we look at the business of a Cesar Munoz, or we look at the business of Johnny Wimbrey or Michael Jacks, or, you know, or Luis and Fernanda out there just rocking it, and just so many of our dimes. We don't want to leave anybody out. Daniel Camaro, Emmanuel Bernstein, Rodolfo and Esteban. I mean, all these folks they have created massive momentum in their businesses, right? And we might look at that and say, how did they do it? But I want to zero back to Cesar from the beginning. I want to zero back to Johnny Wimbrey and Michael Jacks from the beginning. I can tell you how each of these guys did it. They didn't go straight to the big rooms. They started with good parties. They launched their business with good parties. They launched their business in the living rooms and the dens. I remember Cesar's first one. He personally invited 50, 60 people to show up for his own personal good party to start his team, right? I remember Johnny Wimbrey, Michael Jacks. They started out with these groups that got small groups together in living rooms and even on Zooms to launch their business. Thomas and Annie, same thing. They started out with good parties.
William Thurston
by Zoom.
I still see him in living rooms.
He is all over the world on living rooms and dens.
Jackie and
Taylor. All these guys are doing the same thing because, you ready?
Yeah. Writing.
Good parties, BÜM parties is how you light the match. That's how you light the match. You want momentum? This is how you're going to light the match. Okay. If you want to set your business on fire, you light the match with good parties and BÜM parties in living rooms and dens. Okay. And guess what? You can't ask people to do things that you won't do. And so that's where the whole leading by example thing comes in.
You did it to yourself.
I did it to myself, right? There's this little technology thing that happens here. So in any event, you know, how do you do that? Well, you want to book 4 in your first week of business. Now, when is your first week of business? Anytime that you declare your first week of business, right? It could be your actual first week of business. I got you.
Did you see me?
I got you good, right? It could be your actual first week of business. And some of you might say, oh man, I've been in the business 5 months now and I didn't do any of this. And is it too late for me? No, declare a new first week. Declare that right now is your first week. Now, do you have to have 4 in the actual first week? No, but you can, right? The person who's going to light the match the strongest is the person that says, you know what? I'm not, you know, I'm gonna light just a raging fire, and I'm gonna do a BÜM party on Monday night and Tuesday night and Thursday night and Saturday afternoon. I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way in the first week. Remember, we were building. We used to look for people who wanted to do that. And you would find those people. You know where you find those people after a month or so? On the leaderboard, on the top of the charts, ranking up, making big money, right? Now, what else can you do? You don't have to do it that way. You can say, hey, I'm going to do I'm going to do BÜM Party for myself to launch my business. I'm going to do it on Tuesdays, every Tuesday for the next 4 weeks. That's what we mean by book them in your first week. Get them on the calendar, commit to them in your first week. And you want to get with your plugged in upline, and they will help you get these parties booked and help you execute them.
Yeah. So here's the other thing that'll happen too. You book your first BÜM Party maybe in week 1, right? Then you got, 3 more lined out each week. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to get people started that first week. What are you going to do with them? You're going to do exactly what we're going to tell you to do. What are you going to do with them? They're going to book 4 BÜM parties.
Right.
This is how it works. It's building on top of each party. And so then they do their first party. Maybe that's in the first week. Maybe that's, you do yours on Monday night. They do theirs on Thursday night. Now you got more people coming on board and you're teaching them to do the same thing. And you can see how this thing will just, exponentially happen, and the growth will come. The growth will come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is how you create the income. I mean, I'm looking in the chats and, I'm seeing someone, talking about they haven't made any money yet, but they're never going to quit, which is the right attitude. But this is how you do it. Now, folks, I'm going to share with you. Think about what Mark just said. Let's say you start out with your own BÜM Party. Maybe that's going to be Tuesday nights for the next 4 weeks. And in your first BÜM Party, let's suppose you identify some people who want to join your team. And like Mark said, the next thing to do is to book their 4 BÜM parties. So maybe now someone that you got started wants to have theirs on Wednesdays. And then, maybe someone else that you get started wants to have theirs on Thursdays. And maybe next someone else that you get started wants to have theirs on Saturday, early afternoon, let's say 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then you have someone else who wants to have theirs on Saturdays at 6. Well, look at what's happening to your life, right? And I want to give you guys some straight talk here. Because what happens is so many times people look at Emmanuel Bernstein, or they'll look at, William Thurston or Jackie Pippins or Trey Harris or any of these diamonds, right? And
Peter and Karen
Hirsch. And they'll look at them and they'll say, hey, you know what? I want that. They'll hear about their earnings. They'll see them getting recognized. And they say, I want that for myself. But my question is, are you willing to do what they did? What they were willing to do is that for a season, is they were willing to give up those evenings and those weekend afternoons to varying degrees in order to get their business rocking, in order to give them momentum. So many people want success, but they want it without the sacrifice. And folks, I'm just shooting straight with you, right? Obviously, if you're doing a BÜM Party on Tuesday night, you're not kicking back on the sofa watching TV that night. Right? It's not happening. Obviously, if you're doing a BÜM Party on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening or 2 on a Saturday, you're not at the bowling alley. You're not at the pub, kicking it with your friends that particular time. You are actually working on your fortune. And that's how this works, folks. This is how you get financially independent. You work on your wages between 9 and 5. And then between 5 and 9, you work on your fortune, you work on your freedom. And if for those that really focus on it and are willing to do that, to bite that bullet for a season, what they'll find is that even though they gave up 5 to 9, after a while, they gain back 9 to 5 because they're making enough money if between 5 and 9 and on the weekends that they don't need 9 to 5 anymore, if that's your goal. So,
dude, I see what you did there.
Sure I did.
9 to 5 to 5 to 9.
9 to 5 to 5 to 9.
All right. Cool. Good stuff. And I've seen some of the diamonds and how hard they've worked when they were going diamond. And it was meeting after meeting, Zoom after Zoom, BÜM Party after BÜM Party, good parties. They were just and 1-on-1s, 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s. And it was just massive, massive action.
That's right.
Massive activity.
All right. So we know who we're talking to, by the way. We're talking to the folks who really want to build, life-changing income, and who are, whether it's serious extra money or life-changing income, and you want to do it by building a team. Some of you guys just want to get customers. You don't want to build a team. No problem. You can listen to this, and if it ever changes and applies to you, fantastic. But for those of you who want to learn how some folks have literally created dynasties in this industry and are doing it in Ibüümerang. This is the fundamental training that you need to capture. Okay,
Cool. Good
All right.
stuff.
Oh, no, did myself again there. All right.
The other thing, work with your success team. So what does that mean? That means find the person that either sponsored you or sponsored your sponsor or even higher that is working the business in a way that you want to work it. So meaning they are on fire, they are in action, they are making it happen, and they are running, they're going and going and going. So get with them. And here's what you're going to want to do. When you get with them, they're going to ask you for a couple of different things. They're going to ask to see this. They're going to ask to see this. And then they're going to ask you to draw out your group. Okay. And you're going to want to make sure that don't talk to them until you've got your flight plan calendar. Okay. So what you're going to want to do. So this may be for the folks that, hey, you know what? I've been in for a while. I'm ready to start. Like T. Gray said, when's your first week? Whenever you want it to be. Okay. It could be this week. As a matter of fact, make this week your first week. Make this week your first week.
That's right.
Make it happen. And go ahead and find and identify that person that you want to run with and let them know, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to run. What do I need to do? They're going to ask you for your flight plan calendar. They're going to say, hey, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get you set up with 4 BÜM parties. So just be prepared. Go ahead and get that done and make sure that they're keeping you accountable and you're working with that person.
That's right. And I mean, Mark, I just think about this for a second. You want to know what the most beautiful thing is, folks? And I pray that this happens in your business. I pray that you take what we're talking about today to heart, that you do it and you get to experience the next thing that's going to happen. What the next thing that's going to happen is when you do this, you will now create a culture in your team that this is the way to do it.
Yes.
And what's going to end up happening down the road, I don't know if it's going to take 3 months for you to get there or a year for you to get there, but there's going to be a Saturday afternoon where there are literally 25 or 30 or even 50 good parties of BÜM parties taking place in your business around the world that you are not part of. And it's going to be all because of you starting it with yourself. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, that's an amazing, amazing day. And I pray that that day comes for you very, very soon.
All right. Good deal. Yeah, I'm liking this training.
Yeah.
So what do you need to get?
Flight plan calendar. You need your calendar.
Now listen, this is not a pitch to sell you on this. This is a tool. This is the tool. It gives you everything you need in here.
Yep.
Okay. And just get it.
I'll put it to you this way, and Tunde's not going to be upset with me for saying it this way. If you only have $25 to spend, go to the BÜM gear store. Don't buy a shirt.
Yeah.
Don't buy a polo. Don't buy a cap. Buy this.
Yeah.
This will make you money.
This is your business. This is your business.
This is your business.
All right. Good deal. Set up.
All right. How do you set up your BÜM party, guys? How do you do it?
Location.
Location.
Yeah. We were gonna do that.
To the core power. Activate. All right. That was corny.
No, it was. I don't even know why I fist bumped you on that.
Yeah, you participated.
So where can you have BÜM parties and good parties? Pretty much anywhere.
You
So
can.
so home, apartment, clubhouse, coffee house. Where's the best place to have a BÜM party where you're going to have control of your environment?
The best place is your living room.
Hashtag living rooms and dens.
Yes.
These folks are making it happen. Some of these are huge, massive groups. Look at them. And they're rocking and rolling.
And then, stay there for a second.
Yeah.
All types of living rooms here.
Yeah.
All different kinds, right? And sometimes you get people get a little finicky. Oh, I don't know. My living room's not really fancy or whatever. Hey, listen, your friends and your people in your circle, they will come to your house. They already do, right? So don't get all weirded out now that it's time to do a BÜM party or a good party. Your place is the best place because that's where your friends, family, and other folks. Now, sometimes folks really do have a situation where their living room is kind of off limits And that's where you have the, you know, the clubhouse or coffee house or whatever you got to do. You know, don't let, if you, you know, some folks can't use my living room, can't do BÜM parties. Don't be a person who runs into a wall and stops.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
you got to be like those little cars that we buy for the kids, right? And the ones that you pull back, they got the pull back action. You let them go, then they go and they hit the leg of a chair. What do? They flip over and they just start going in a different direction. Nothing stops them. That's who you need to be. You need to be that person. Nothing stops you.
Oh my goodness, you are too much, man. I'm telling you, it's incredible the things you think of.
Cup's empty.
You know,
Cup is empty.
Well, I'm gonna keep that written. All right. Okay, location. Your home is comfortable. You can control the environment. Think about it. You're at a coffee shop and there's the dude talking really loud, like right next to you. And you're
Why'd you point at me for loudness? Oh, because I'm loud?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you don't, I mean, yeah, exactly. You don't want to be doing a BÜM party in a coffee shop and I'm the guy sitting next to you talking loud on the phone, talking about, Mark, this is so exciting. Did you see this article? It just shows that everything we're doing about Ibüümerang is right. You don't want me next to you.
Yeah, no.
And then you've got the person making the coffee.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
not good, yeah.
I mean,
Right.
so, but you can do it.
But you know what? Here's the cool part too about having a good party or a BÜM party at your house. It's going to be the cleanest it's ever been for a long time. So if you want to have your house clean for a month, have 4 good parties, 4 BÜM parties at your house
I can't believe
for
you.
the month.
But it's so true.
It's true.
It's so true.
Yeah,
I
we
remember,
get clean and shit.
man, I remember back when we were starting, right? I mean, my
It's
wife
people
used to
coming
love,
over.
my wife used to love BÜM parties because it's the only time I would touch the vacuum. Because I would be vacuuming under the sofa, everything, because people were coming over, you know? And then, yeah, she used to love that. She's
Oh,
like,
man.
look at you.
Yeah.
I'd
So-
wash dishes. I'd do everything.
Yeah. So you want a clean house? Have a BÜM party.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Set up. Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
No
So,
pets
yeah.
or kids.
So atmosphere is you want to light your house.
Yes.
Okay. You want to get the lights going.
Mhm.
Darkness makes people go to sleep. Right. So you want to recruit as much light as possible into the room that you're doing the BÜM party in. Even if you got to take lamps and stuff from other rooms to brighten it up. You know, maybe you're somebody who's got your living room painted a dark color. No problem. Just bring in some more lights. Another thing is when you're setting up the chairs, do not set your living room up like an auditorium. Okay? Don't even put out extra chairs. Just put out, let's let your sofa and whatever stuff is already there, be there. But then you want to have all the extra chairs nearby, right? And then what happens is as more people come, then what happens is they'll grab chairs and they'll put them wherever they want to, and it's going to look a little crazy and it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be neat.
No.
Did you see some of those living rooms?
It was, you know, people were just sitting everywhere, right? We've had people sitting on stairs, sitting on countertops.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Pets and kids.
Yeah.
All right. We are not anti-pets and we are not anti-children.
Got 2 dogs and
Okay.
3 kids.
Yeah. So, you know, we both have pets and children. But here's the thing we know about pets and children. They are a distraction, right? Kids are going to, what are kids going to do? They're going to cry. They're going to play. They're going to go and interact with your guest at a time that you want them to hear what the next part of the presentation is. That's about the time that little Johnny's going to go up and go, and the person's not going to be paying attention anymore, right? Or if you've got dogs like mine,
Oh my
there's
gosh.
just not going to be a presentation.
My God.
Even though my son put up an Instagram video and I'm like watching these 2 things sit there all peaceful and I'm just still trying to figure out how he did that because they never sit still, right? So what you want to do is you want to, for the duration of your good party, you want to try to get rid of the kids and the pets if you can. I remember when we were doing these, my son was little and we would just have a neighbor, you know, the neighbor's daughter come and just sit upstairs in the room with him and watch videos.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Lock the dogs in the room.
Yeah.
You know, anytime you remember we launched the company, we were doing the Zooms. Hey, my dogs would be up in the room with my wife. Just, you know, hey, they can't run around right now because they're going to create a distraction. So do what you can do to control your environment.
Cool. Good stuff. Light snacks. Just light snacks.
Yeah.
No cooking.
Don't throw that.
Yeah. So again, you want to think duplication. You want it duplicatable because, some people are thinking, man, I don't want to have people over because then I got to get all these snacks and waters and, drinks and all this stuff. And don't do that. Don't do that. Just make it easy. Water, if you want to have a little bit of like lemonade or something like that, and then just, some crackers, some cheese, whatever. Just don't make a production of that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm laughing at the chat.
What?
These guys are all over the whole kids thing. They're like, so true. They're a huge distraction. Someone said, get the kids and pets off the premises. Someone else said the struggle is real, but it's worth it. It's so funny. But Mark is on the whole snacks thing. And just think there's some people, if you make a whole spread, because you might be that person who likes to go all out in the kitchen, right? And make a whole big spread for your guests. Number one, it's a whole distraction. Number two, you literally will have people who will not join your business because of it. They'll eat your food and they won't join, and they won't tell you why they didn't join, but here's why they won't join. Because they will say to themselves, if I join this business, I got to have these things at my house and prepare all this food. So you got to show them how simple and easy it is with finger snacks that you can buy from the grocery store even, all right? And the last thing I'll say on this is just a water tip. Because water, this is like one of the best tips. You guys are going to love us for this one. So when we were doing these, remember we started out buying those 16, 20 ounce bottles of water, have them stacked up on me. And then what happens is people start drinking them and then they put them down. And then you have all these, when the party's over, you have all these half drunk bottles of water all over your place, because when they put them down, they don't know which one is theirs. And so they want to pick it back up and continue to drink it. So here's a tip: get the small bottles, the little bottles for everybody to drink.
And if you do find a bunch of those half bottles all around the house, do you know what you do with them? Water the plants.
Water the plants.
Water the plants.
Water the plants. Absolutely.
Yeah. What did you think I was going to say?
Give them to the dog. Don't do it. All right.
Okay. Hey, look at that. Little phone hanging out there.
Nice. It's like a person pushing the phone out.
Inviting. How do I invite? T. Gray, how do I invite? How do I invite?
How do you get them to show up? This is it right here.
How do you get them to show up?
Yeah.
Be in a hurry.
This is the formula.
Show value.
1, 2, and 3.
Take it away.
Boom. Hashtag no begging.
Right? Yeah, you got to have posture. You got to have posture when you're doing this. So, you know what? Let's do a little role play here.
All right, cool. Invite me.
Hey, T.
Invite
Gray.
me.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Is this T. Gray?
Is this Mark?
This does not sound like T. Gray.
It's me. It's really me, Mark. Is it you?
Yes, it is. Hey, T. Gray, I'm in a hurry. I don't have a whole lot of time right now.
Oh.
What if I found the next Amazon or Uber and we were able to get in at the beginning?
What?
Yeah, that's it. What are you doing 7 o'clock Thursday night?
Nothing really.
Okay, great. Be at my house. Okay?
Is this just going to be about the next Amazon or Uber?
Yes, it's going to be about the next Amazon or Uber. And make sure that you got a credit card with at least $1,000 available on it.
Okay.
Be there.
Well, okay.
All right, because I got a lot of people coming. I thought of you first. So if you aren't going to show up, you need to let me know, because then I can invite somebody in your place.
Okay. So what's the name of this thing? Tell me more about it, Mark.
I got to get off the phone. I'm making more calls. Be there. Thank you. Bye.
Hon, we're not watching Game of Thrones on Thursday this week. We're going to Mark. But really, guys, that's it. Something like that, right? It's quick. It's not a whole bunch of chit chat. He didn't call me up and say, "Hey,
it's not IGO. It's not travel. It's none of that."
And he didn't say the word Ibüümerang so that I would Google it and get everything that I need and make some decisions for myself before getting there and not get the whole picture, right? So he didn't say that. And you know, he didn't get on and say, "Hey, T, did you watch all those football games this weekend? Weren't they amazing? Did you see this play?" And so if he did all that idle chit chat in the beginning, he can't possibly be in a hurry, right? So he created so much intrigue. He created value, right? He took it away from me several times. Did you guys catch that? He said, I got to talk to several people. I need to know if you can't be there so I can invite someone in your place.
Yeah. Nobody wants to have
Nobody wants that. And I remember when Holton Buggs taught me that. I remember when Edwin Haynes taught me that. I've got that in my journals over and over again. And I remember the first time hearing that, and I'm gonna be honest with you, feeling like, oh, you can't say that to people, right? But then I remembered. I remembered something. You know what I remember?
What do you remember?
I remembered that for my first 3 network marketing companies, I did it my way and it didn't work. And I told Holton, if you'll teach me, I'm gonna do it exactly the way you teach me. I'm gonna say what you tell me to say this way. And I literally said this to him. And in retrospect, he had to think I was like crazy, right? I'm sure he was laughing after I left. But I said, I'm gonna do it exactly the way you teach me, and I'm gonna say exactly what you say, and I'm gonna say it the way you say it, so that this time, if it doesn't work, it's your fault, not mine. Right? So I'm sure he laughed at me for saying that. But here's what happened. It made me win because he said to say that, so I said it. And people showed up. I remember my first home party, my first good party that I did. It was right here at the offices because I had just moved here, and so sometimes your living room doesn't work. The next best thing is somebody else's living room, and I persuaded Holton Buggs to let me do it in his living room, and I probably ruined it for everybody with the story I'm about to tell you. I was given a people limit of 25 people. And I followed this 3-step formula, and I had 75 people show up.
It works.
So,
man, I remember learning this the first time. I was just like you. I'm like, I can't say that to people.
Right.
No, my people are different.
Oh, my people are
My
different.
people
bro.
are different.
I love it because somebody out there is saying that right now.
No, they're not.
They're saying my people are different. Okay, that's nice. I can't say that. Oh my God. Keep going.
Yeah. So, and here's why your people aren't different. And here's why you need posture. Think about it. We do have our hands on the next Amazon. We do have our hands on the next Uber. Think about it. What if you said to somebody, hey, you know what? Jeff Bezos just started a company and he's let me invite you to come over. What would they say? Are you sure?
Exactly.
Did he really say that I could be there? I mean,
right.
And he's going to be looking for people to get started right then.
That's right. That's right.
Are you in?
So,
yes, I'm in. How much should I bring? How much cash?
If Jeff Bezos let you get in on the deal, right? Isn't that amazing? So somebody has here in the chat, how do we ask people to charge something on a credit card if we're hosting a get out of debt party?
Yeah.
Check it out. They spent money to get into debt. It's reasonable to expect them to spend money to get out of debt.
Right. But also, you know what you can do? You can tell them, and here's how it works. We're going to set you up before good parties. You're going to have your money back to pay that credit card off by the end of this month. Boom.
See, they bought a bunch of things that cost them money, but didn't make them money. It's time to teach a new behavior that says, hey, now you're going to buy something that if you put some work behind it can make you money. Yeah. There's a difference between buying clothes, shoes, going out to dinner, going to the movies. Those things entertain you, but they don't make you any money. When you purchase a business, when you get your business off the ground, you make that initial startup, outlay to get your business going. Now you can truly turn that into an asset. Do you think that Edwin Haynes, do you think that Cesar Munoz, do you think that the Hirsches, do you think that Emmanuel Burson, do you think that Spencer and Jonathan are happy that they spent over $1,000 to get started in Ibüümerang? They've made that money back many times over. Okay.
Yeah. The other thing you could say too is you could just swap it out and say debit card. Just bring your debit card.
Yeah.
All right. That way they're not getting into debt.
Yeah. All right.
So what are the numbers? What are the numbers? So if you have a list of 50, okay, here's how the numbers look. You're going to make 50 calls.
Mm-hmm.
30 to 35 are going to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Out of those 30 to 35, 15 to 20 will confirm.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 15 to 20, 7 to 10 are going to show up.
There you go.
Those are the numbers.
So now if you're having very small attendance or no attendance at your good parties, now you know why. The numbers weren't big enough.
Yeah.
Right. So we always teach people, start with a big list. We teach you how to what to say so you don't burn up your list. And then it's time to go and invite. And if you start with a list of 50, you're not going to get everybody, like Mark said, and everybody's not going to confirm and everybody's not going to show up. But these are the ratios. And you know what? If you have 7 to 10 people at your first good party, you are rocking. You are rocking. But in order to have 7 to 10 people, you need to have 15 to 20 that say the following words. Mm-hmm. Yes, I will be there. Mm-hmm. Okay. You got to understand what's a yes and what's not a yes. Only thing that's a yes is a yes, right? So yes, I will be there is a yes. Let me see if I can get off work in time is a no. Let me see if I can get a babysitter is a no. I'll try is a no. Ooh, that sounds really good. Like, I'll try to be there. That's a no, right? The only thing that's a yes is a definitive yes. And don't be afraid to ask people for a yes, right? Holton taught me one other thing. People will say, maybe. I say, great, I'll put you on my little side list here because right now I can only go with the people who are going to definitively tell me that they're going to be there for sure because I have limited space. I have limited space. So I can't give you a seat for your maybe. I understand you got to see if you can get a babysitter. Go see if you can get a babysitter and call me back and I'll see if I still have a spot for you.
Man, posture.
Woo! Let me see if I can get off work early. Go to work tomorrow. Tell your boss on Thursday night, you got to leave at X time so that you can get to my place on time. Call me back. Let me know what he says or what she says, and I'll see if I still have a spot for you.
Man, love that. And you know, so you could send a text, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm saying you could send a text to invite people, right?
Yeah, you could.
If you don't want them to show up.
There you go. Pick up the phone.
It's phone calls.
Yeah, stop hiding behind your technology.
Phone calls.
Okay, here's one way to totally burn your list and make sure that nobody shows up to anything you invite them to. You ready? Send a big text blast to everybody that says, hey, I found this exciting company with travel savings and blah, blah, blah. And you got to tune into this presentation or show up at my house or whatever, blah, blah, blah. They're going to look at that text and they're not even going to respond. People can hide behind technology. Pick up the phone, call them. It's going to blow their minds.
Yeah. Actually using the phone as a phone. Who'd have thought? Hey. All right. Moving on. Now, everybody, though, that shows up out of the 7 to 10 that show up, they should all, at the very minimum, become a customer.
That's right.
After that, after the presentation that we've got, everybody's a customer in that room.
And guess what? A boomerang is a thank you gift.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Everybody that's here today is going to leave at a minimum with a gift. Just a thank you from me to you. I'm going to give you a gift that's going to be absolutely amazing. Boom. So make sure everybody leaves with a boomerang.
Cool. All right. Do the presentation. How to do the presentation.
How do you do the presentation?
How do you do the presentation? I decide. So you've done a couple of these at your house. How'd it go?
It was fun. It's fun. You know, you hook up your computer to the big TV. You know, sometimes you need to use a HDMI cable, or you can use your Apple TV or Chromecast or whatever it is. It's so easy these days. The TVs are smart. They have it built in, right? And, you know, you put the I decide up there and you grab the name of one of the people who's one of your guests and put it in the I decide, and you put it up, and you make that person the driver.
The flight captain.
You're the flight captain.
You're the pilot.
You're the pilot. Right?
Everybody else is the passenger.
Everybody else is the passengers. And we tell them, hey, listen, when you get to the points where it's asking questions, let's see what the team, you know, everybody here has to say. And I literally step to the side and let them do the whole presentation themselves.
Yeah. Run down to the store and get some ice.
I wouldn't do that so much.
Okay.
Yeah. They might raid the fridge. considering that I only gave them snacks.
You know what? That's another way. That's another way to make sure that somebody shows up.
Make them bring ice.
You know what? That's it. That's it. Hey, you know what? And by the way, I know that you're going to show up, but hey, if you could bring a bag of ice.
Yep. I didn't get a chance to get everything I needed. I need you to save my life. Mark, I need you to save my life. I know you're on the way, but I need you to stop and grab a bag of ice. I can't believe I forgot that. And I remember when we first started this,
10 bags of
we
ice.
showing up, we have 10 bags of ice. The ice would be coming through the front door, we're throwing it out the back door. You know,
I remember that.
but it was,
That
you know, it
so
cost
good.
them $1, but
A
they'd
bag
show
of
up.
ice.
It's wonderful.
Oh, that's
a bag of ice.
All
Somebody else said cups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cups.
Cups, something.
Yeah.
Something.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So I decide,
Or you present.
you can do it too.
You can do it.
Yes, you can do it. Just read the
Yes, good
slides.
stuff. Read the slides.
Just like we're doing.
Yeah. And you know what? If you want to learn from the best of the best of the best, we have webinars every single day.
That's
And
right.
not only that, we record them. And you can go back and you can watch them.
You could even play the recording at your good party.
How about that?
You could
Dude,
have any of
didn't
these
think of that.
diamonds or rock star presenters. Like remember, we only use the best of the best.
Yeah.
Right? So you got Tiny Mazel Joseph, you got Elaine Harris, you got Tommy Johnson,
Yeah.
you've got all of these great, incredible presenters, and you can have any one of them do your good party by putting it up on your TV and playing the recording.
Cool, cool.
There you go.
Love it. All right. So to close it out, the entire party should not take any more than 45 to 75 minutes. That's people in the door, that's the presentation itself, and then that's closing out at the end.
That's right.
Short and sweet.
That's right. Please don't get up there and tell the entire Ibüümerang story,
No.
starting from when Holton and Earlene were born and when they met in high school and all that other stuff. And, you know, and then you're just like working your way through the years. And then you're like, and then 2002, Mark Cathcart came in the picture. And then 2014, and everybody's asleep. Come on, guys, keep it gully.
Okay. Yeah. So setting it up is important. Getting people in, getting them settled. There might be a few people that show up late. Just hustle them in, get them seated. Introduce whatever it is you're doing. So if you're doing the eye to side, assign somebody captain. If somebody's doing the presentation for you, go ahead and introduce them. Give them a very good introduction. We don't have time for edification right now. And then if you're doing the presentation, have somebody just say a few things about you. Okay. And you know, if it's a small group and it's people that you already know, just go ahead and just start rocking and rolling.
So glad you guys are here.
Yeah.
And by the way, you know, a cool way to pick the captain?
Oh, how's that?
Put something under one person's chair.
That's
like
perfect.
I ordered a bunch of the wings that you
Yeah,
get,
flight wings.
flight wings,
Yeah.
and you just put one under one person's chair and say, hey, we're gonna, you know, one of you guys is gonna do something special today. There's something under your chair, and just from that moment, you've created engagement. It's a lot of fun. So that's one way you can do it. You don't have to do it that way, but that's one way.
All right. So there's one thing that we did miss on atmosphere: music.
Music.
Yeah, we got to go back and rewind. Atmosphere is important. So of course, brightly lit, temperature, you know,
Cool,
a little
cool.
Yeah, a little cool, and then the music. Don't have on, you know, like I like some pretty heavy stuff. So
He likes that
don't-
hard rock.
don't play what I play,
Don't play what I play.
and don't play what he plays.
Don't play that hard rap music. Right. So,
yeah,
instrumental.
smooth jazz.
and then, you know, and that's the other thing too. Don't play sleepy music that kind of
Yeah.
brings everyone's mood
Yeah.
down either.
Have it be up,
Right. So you want upbeat instrumental music.
Yes.
Okay. Because you don't want anybody getting lost or offended by the words. Okay. So there are on YouTube, they've got all these cool playlists. You can do instrumental, you know, pop songs, instrumental hip hop songs, and instrumental hip hop jazz songs or whatever. It's upbeat. It's cool. Recognizable beats. It gets people like, hey, yeah, that's kind of cool. But the words aren't there to get everybody distracted. And it gets everybody's mood up. And volume wise, You want to start out at a good volume. And as the room starts to fill, you want to keep raising the volume so that people have to start talking over the music because it gets their energy up as well.
So, and you know what triggered that for me was at the end of the presentation, at the very end, you say, hey, you know what? We're going to take a few minutes. We're going to answer some of your questions. So if you have questions, let me know. And then somebody over in the back of the room turns the music on.
That's right.
Right at that moment.
That's right.
You can't have any dead air between the time you say, I'm here to answer your questions, and then
Crazy Joe.
Awkward silence happens.
And you know what? When that awkward silence is there, Crazy Joe is going to fill it.
Oh, yeah. Crazy Joe.
You know who Crazy Joe
Yeah.
is. Crazy Joe's that guy who's going to ask that question that's going to be so
Hey,
negative.
is this a pyramid?
There you go. Crazy Joe. Thank you, Joe. Right? Everybody else is ready to sign up, and here comes Crazy Joe. Is this one of them pyramid things? And you know, nobody would have heard him if you turned on the music.
That's right. Drown Crazy Joe out.
Absolutely.
And you know, the other thing too is you may have a few of your team members there, and for sure you're going to want to have whoever it is that you set this up with. You're going to want to have them there because they're going to be able to lead the question and answer period, and it's going to be person by person. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is while your expert is there asking or answering the questions for, you know, maybe Joe and Betty over here, and you know, getting that guy out of the room in a way, you're maybe over here saying, you know what, you know, hey, I'm new, I just joined, here are some of the things I know, but you know what, let's wait. I need to get you with this gentleman over here. He is the guy. He's doing extremely well. Love this guy. You know, so anyways, make sure that everybody gets their questions answered, but do it on an individual basis. You don't want a group, you know, hey, what about this and what about that? You don't want that in an open forum.
Because that's going to be death.
Yeah, because there's some people that are thinking, man, I want to get started right now.
Right.
I just have this one final question of, you know, do you take American Express or MasterCard or a debit card, right? You know, or do you take, you know, any other, you know, but bottom line is they're there. They're like, I'm ready. So you want to make sure that they're segregated and, you know, everybody has their own questions.
That's right.
So you don't want them spinning on somebody else's question.
Got a power tip for you.
Power tip.
So you're like, okay, this all sounds good, but I live in the UK and, you know, my plugged in upline who could help me out big time lives in the United States or some other combination. Guess what? I just love today's technology. I wish we had it back when we were doing what we were doing. You can zoom them in. Like you can do the whole presentation with the eye to side and everything. And then when it's all over, you say, hey, guess what, guys? I got a treat for you. And you've already scheduled this with your plugged in upline. You can actually now have them pop up on your big TV and talk to your group. You can literally have Amy Seaver, you know, or you could literally have Jackie Pippins be at your BÜM party or your good party without being at your good party or your BÜM party, right? You might be doing a millennial party. You could literally have Diamond Jayla Pippins, if she's your upline, show up at your party virtually at the end and say, hey, wasn't that great, folks? Let me tell you my story real quick. And they can help close out your party. So folks, leverage technology, be creative, and let's rock and roll.
Yeah, you know, this right here also works just as well. You know, if they're up on the screen, definitely. But you know, hey, FaceTime them. FaceTime. Hey, hold on, just want to get them here. You know, you don't have to get Zoom and download it onto your laptop and get it onto your phone and all that. Just forget it. Just FaceTime them. Yeah, it's all there.
That's right.
All right, good deal. And follow up. Follow up. So nobody leaves that house, apartment, condo, coffee shop, wherever you are doing your big party without an appointment. What do we call that?
Call that following up.
Bam fam.
Bam fam. Bam. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that graphic.
Yeah.
Guess what it stands for? Bam fam is not just like a sound like bam fam. It means something. BAMFAM. Book a meeting from a meeting.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to make sure that your calendar should be booked. Right. If a new person joins, great. Schedule their 4 good parties right then. Put them in your calendar. You just book 4 meetings from that meeting. People say, okay, I got to go talk to my spouse or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I got to do this, do that, whatever their thing is. Great. Let's schedule a time to sync back up. Don't leave it to chase. Don't leave it to chance. Don't leave it to chase. Like you're chasing that person trying to get them again. Don't leave it to chance that you might catch them. Schedule an appointment like grown folks do, right? So say, hey, okay, let's schedule a time. This Saturday afternoon, we're doing this. Which works better for you for us to talk again, Sunday or Monday? Right? And go ahead and schedule that day and the time in the calendar, both your calendars. And that's when you're going to talk again. It's going to drive your success ratio up.
Incredibly. So you cannot let anybody get out of that room without booking a meeting.
That's right.
So, and here's how we do it too. So, hey, T Gray, I know that you got a couple more questions. I know you got to talk to your dog. So let's go ahead.
You said you got to talk to your dog.
Yeah, no. And this is what I did.
Yeah.
You talk to your dogs all the time.
Yeah.
Get off the couch. Yeah. So what I do is I pull out my
Jack
phone.
Sparrow, should I join this business?
Yes, Jack Sparrow says. Yes. So I pull out my phone and I pull up my calendar and I start looking through my calendar and I say, hey, you know what? Grab your calendar, man.
Okay.
So look, I've only got Tuesday or Thursday. What works better for you?
You said Tuesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get my calendar. Okay, Tuesday.
All right,
Tuesday's
morning
better.
or afternoon?
Definitely. Can we do the evening?
Evening will work too. I've got a couple of appointments though, because I've got more people that I'm following up with, and I got a good party that night too.
I'm thinking like 5:30.
Okay, 5:30 works.
Okay,
All right,
cool.
I'm
All
good.
right.
I'm good. So calling you on that number, 5:30 Tuesday.
Got it. Okay, I got it in my calendar.
All right, cool.
All right, cool.
Don't you send that to them.
Nope.
Let them put it in themselves.
That's
so
right.
Did you see what I did there though? It was what we call the alternate close.
Mhm.
You give
I
them
love it.
options.
Mhm.
You're not telling them, hey, the only time I told him that I had anything is I said, I can only do Tuesday or Thursday.
Right.
But then every other decision was up to him.
That's right.
Every decision. I see you morning or afternoon. He said evening, and I was like, I'll try to fit it in. 5:30. Okay, great. We can do that. So, and then I watched him as he put it in his phone.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
And that right there is just the magic.
Mhm.
It's the magic. Now, I call, and I tell T Gray, hey, I'm going to call you at 5:30 sharp.
That's
okay.
right.
So be ready. All right.
And
Get yourself in a quiet place.
Yeah.
That way we can talk and I can answer all your questions.
Absolutely. And he doesn't need to feel any kind of way about calling me on Tuesday at 5:30 because he's not chasing me.
Set up.
He's keeping an appointment.
That's right.
Right. Psychologically, totally different.
Rookies chase.
Right. So if he needs to feel some kind of way if he doesn't call me on Tuesday at 5:30, because then he's sending me a message about who he is as a professional. But he's going to call me at 5:30. Now, if I don't answer or whatever, that's on me.
Yeah. So now if he doesn't answer, here's my voicemail. Hey, you know what, T Gray? I was honoring the time that we set.
Ooh.
And apparently you're not available right now. So if you can call me back in the next 5 minutes, that's the only time I'm going to have available. Other than that, thank you, brother. Love you. And, rock and roll in what you're doing.
Wow. So much
Posture.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah. Did
Ooh.
you hear that though? I'm honoring the time that we agreed on.
That's like an indictment.
Oh,
Like
that's like a promise.
That's like, woo! You gotta realize the
You can
subtitles.
even use that.
I honored the time you didn't.
I can even say, you know what? I honored, I honored the time that I promised to call you back.
Oh,
Man,
I'm telling you, that makes. But by the way, here's the crazy thing, folks. That's the stuff. Those are the little things that make people want to do business with you, right? Because I think it was in last week's training. The question was, why should somebody want to follow you, right? And it's these things. These are the things that demonstrate leadership, right? And that's really good. Leadership is not begging. Leadership is leading, and he's leading me. He's showing me, hey, look, if we're going to do business together, you got to keep your appointments. He's not saying that, but just by use of the word honoring, he's saying it. It's lovely.
All right. Good deal.
Woo,
All
that's
right.
it.
That's it.
So, folks,
Man, good stuff.
here's a challenge. We showed you how to do it. There's no mystery anymore. Now you know, right? You can't say, oh, my upline didn't teach me. Nobody taught you. We're taking responsibility as a company to make sure that everybody, regardless of their upline, because everybody doesn't have, everybody doesn't have Daniel and Talita as an upline. Everybody doesn't have Michael Jackson. Everybody doesn't have, all these other diamonds. So some folks need somebody to teach them. So we're going to take responsibility, make sure that everyone gets the information. And you know what? I read the customer service notes sometimes from time to time. And sometimes people, they're totally disenchanted because they're like, my upline's not teaching me this, that, and the other. And I see all this other stuff happening. That's not an excuse. It's not valid, because all you got to do is show up on flight school every Saturday. And you know what? You got all these foster parents here. You got, Mark, you've got myself, you've got Edwin Haynes, you've got Holton Buggs, and these diamonds that come on, and we're sharing. No secrets here. We're showing you how to get it did. And today we showed you how to do good parties and boom parties.